NASCAR 600 miles of remembrance is underway.
No pressure out back. Good launch, still there. Clear, all clear, all clear. Clear by one. Clear by one. 48 in line with you, one back. One back 48, one back 9. Single then double behind him. Still one back 48. 42 working the second lane behind him. 42 down in line, so two singles and double. Good corner, driving away. 5-4. 5-5, really good corner. No pressure here, man. Nice and smooth.
Kurt Busch handily leads the first lap, but Jeff, a lot of jostling behind him.
I almost had to jump out of my chair over here, Mike, because the 42 of Kenseth dove down to that white line, and the 9 of Chase Elliott had a big head of steam behind him, and they made contact. Pretty lucky that that didn't cause any incident right there early in this race. Oh, you see the 19 of Mark Truex Jr. go up the racetrack. Saw that car bouncing like it maybe got on the splitter, bottomed out, went up the racetrack. That's one of the issues you're going to have when these tires are low on air pressure.
Well, we're answering that question about grip up where the traction compound is real early.
Well, we knew the grip level would be high, Mike. You could see it's overcast. Track's got a lot of grip. These cars have a lot of grip in them, as we found out in qualifying. I actually think some of these cars are in a more conservative, as see the 12 of Ryan Blaney going by Bubba Wallace.
20th spot.
20th spot. But I think these cars are more conservative with more downforce right now than they've ever had before because of the lack of practice. Oh, big run coming from Bubba Wallace back to Ryan Blaney. Man, look at that awesome paint scheme on Bubba Wallace's car.
From the World War II Flying Tigers.
Mike and Jeff, the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, still sitting on pit road. Something tells me his mask tonight is not going to have a smile.
It certainly doesn't right now. And I kind of wonder, from NASCAR's standpoint, how do they know how much ballast to put in, and unless maybe they can figure out how much exactly was lost, because they do have to meet that minimum weight requirement, as you mentioned, Larry.
Lap car slow to the inside. That puts the leader single file as Kurt Busch leads his first laps of the season.
Yeah, those top 6 cars, Mike, all Chevrolets. The first Ford, Logano. Matter of fact, Joey Logano's the sole Ford in the top 12 right now after his teammate Brad Keselowski started from the rear of the field.
Tyler Reddick just continues to impress. Two-time Xfinity champ and runner-up in the Xfinity race here last year. You'd think, and from what we've seen and from what Matt Kenseth's comments were after Sunday Darlington, that he's been in this series for years.
Well, we've always known he's got a lot of talent. You put him in some good equipment, and obviously Richard Childress Racing has given him some good equipment this season. And you know, to me, when you're a special talent, you find these moments to shine. And that's what I see with Tyler Reddick. Just certain times when he can get more out of that race car than maybe he ought to be, and that's when he shines.
45 laps complete. Kurt Busch has led them all. From Martin Truex, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, and Joey Logano. Keeping an eye on Matt DiBenedetto in the 21. He is up to 15th in a backup car. He had a crash in qualifying, got hard against the wall in turn number 4. The team worked feverishly to get that backup ready and inspected and ready to race.
That's an impressive gain. You look at who he's racing in front of right now. Brad Keselowski, I know he went to the rear, but so did that 21 car, and then Kevin Harvick. So doing a nice job, this 21 Wood Brothers team, and DiBenedetto working their way up through there.
Harvick now at 17th, right where he restarted. And up to 7th place, Matt Kenseth with Austin Dillon, Christopher Bell in the 95, and Kyle Busch.
You know, I really think that the performance of this 95 team, as the caution comes out,
Well, the vortex theory did not work tonight.
Well, Mike, I got to say, I didn't want to talk about this, but we have been so lucky up to this point to get this race going. There's been rain scattered all through the area this afternoon, and I think it was quite a blessing to get this many laps in to this point without any rain. But there's just some light showers, it looks like, in the area, so hopefully we don't lose the track here.
Here we go. At lap 57, we are back under green.
Alex Bowman took 2 tires on that last time down pit road.
Just the 19 now, tight on your door. Quarter.
That's Eddie DeHaan, Chase Elliott's spotter.
Quarter. Here comes a push from the 8. He's got a push. You're clear. Still pushing you. He's coming back up top. You're still good by half. Now 1, turn away.
2-car getaway. Here comes the rookie, Tyler Reddick, on the inside for third.
Well, you see Kurt Busch wiggling, similar to what Jimmy Johnson did earlier in this race. This is the first time Kurt Busch hasn't been out in front in that clean air.
Look at the log jam behind them.
Ooh, big shove from Joey Logano. That track temp has cooled down about 15-20 degrees, so intensity is going to ramp up here.
Austin Dillon outside. Hendrick cars coupled together. William Byron, Jimmy Johnson, the 24 and 48.
We know how important track position is, and these restarts, that's why they're so aggressive, fighting, battling for those positions every chance they can get.
Bowyer takes advantage of Newman there to move up into 11th. Jamie?
And as we watch the 88 of Alex Bowman, he got the lead by taking 2 tires only. If you look at his paint scheme, Mike, he had a hand in designing that, everything to do with it. And that sounds like somebody else I know who used to drive this car. Dale Earnhardt Jr. used to love to help design his paint schemes as the 9, his teammate, all over his bumper.
All red, white, and blue. Hendrick 1-2 Chevrolets. Toyota 3rd, Truex, and Logano is the first Ford in 6th.
And gutsy call by crew chief Greg Ives, calling for those 2 tires. This really could work out for Greg Ives in that 88 and Alex Bowman because they were able to get out front and in that clean air. You take 2 tires, you're shuffled back a couple rows, much different set of circumstances.
Riding with Ryan Newman, currently 12th. Looking ahead 2 spots to Kurt Busch, who is now in the final point position for stage 1, 10th place.
Now here, ever since we've gone back racing after that rain delay, a lot of loose conditions by different drivers. We've seen some of them because they've been so sideways, but hearing a lot more chatter on the radio, so look for some adjustments to tighten these race cars up on that next stop at the end of this stage.
You know, partner, your call for 2 tires is looking really good right now.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Don't tell Alex Bowman that, because when he looks in his mirror, here comes Martin Truex Jr. But yes, coming from 13th, whether he finishes first in this stage or not, it's been an impressive move.
Oh, 1 car was way up toward the wall and cuts down to pit road with it. A bit of sparks trailing it, flat tire. We'll update that in a minute. Here's Jamie.
Chase Elliott started this race 3rd. That's where he runs right now. He's saying on the radio he's just a little bit too loose, but he also said it feels like it has too much rear spring in it. Jeff, can you elaborate what he means?
Yeah, we'll go to Larry Mack as we see right here. The 88 really loose. Oh, 14's in the wall.
Oh, Bowyer has hit it hard. And that will put us under caution at lap 97.
He's going to hop out. I don't know if that was something under the hood or just after he hit the wall. Could be a right front tire.
Clint Bowyer had high hopes for tonight. He was running 11th.
You can tell he's moving gingerly. That's a heavy, heavy hit. No safer barrier or no safer barrier. You hit going that fast, it's going to hurt.
Third caution flag of the night, the first one for an incident.
That'll knock the wind out of you.
And we'll see if we finish this stage under caution. There's the AMR safety team getting into position.
See a lot of fluids there coming from underneath that car.
Our cameraman saying, Jeff, it sounded like a tire let go on Bowyer's car. Let's look.
Yeah, you see it right there. He goes into turn one. There's sparks. That the way the angle in that car went straight, and that's the worst possible place that could happen. One of the fastest parts of the racetrack, heavy loads. This is afterwards, but he went to go to the bottom of the racetrack, and then it blew as soon as it took a big set and went into the wall straight in.
And this first stage will end under caution. 100 laps, the first of 4 stages tonight to get us to 600 miles. It'll be the second career stage win for Alex Bowman, who won stage 1 at Auto Club Speedway, as we're under caution for Clint Bowyer's crash.
When you tied out back, still in line. At your quarter outside. Still right with you out back. Don't let him sneak inside. Still right with you. Even up top. Clear high. Half back your lane. You're clear. 2 wide, 1 back. 2 wide, 3 back. No real runs here. That's your entry. 19 with you. You got a huge show from the 22. Got to your bumper. You're driving away by 3 here.
Boy, that's what you want to hear, driving away by 3, but look who's bumper to bumper.
Isn't that the way it works, Mike? Just a few days later, you get to the next race. Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch, bumper to bumper, bump drafting down the front straightaway that last time by him.
Well, Jeff, you were telling me on the conference call how you felt and how you drove when you had a driver right behind you who maybe owed you one.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely in your mind. You're wondering, okay, is today the day that they're going to pay me back, or are they going to make me have to earn that respect back over a long period of time? But, you know, one thing's for sure, Chase Elliott's not going to cut Kyle Busch any slack for a long time.
Logano drops in line 5th behind Bowman, Truex, Kyle Busch, and Chase Elliott.
You see William Byron getting to the inside of Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick almost took him 3 wide on that start down the back straightaway. Now he's losing the spot to Byron.
All right, we're back under green. We'll check with Regan Smith at the Care Center.
Well, thankful to see Clint Bowyer emerge from the Care Center. You're okay. We speculated it was a right front tire there. Is there any more helpless feeling as a driver to have?
No, it pretty well sucks. You know, you got about as much time to just, here's something. Knock the wind out of me there. I mean, it sucks. To be 100 laps into a 400 lap race and be out already, not much. Just talk about a helpless feeling. The guys worked really hard on the Rush Truck Centers, Mobile One Delvac Ford, but it just wasn't meant to be. I guess we'll get ready for, what is it, next Wednesday we'll be back at it. I'm going to go somewhere and take this thing off, find somewhere I can find a cold beer. I'm out of here.
Finding that beer, Clint, thanks.
Short night for Clint Bowyer, unfortunately. Chris Buescher in the 17 at 12th. Holding off Kevin Harvick. And here's Ryan Blaney.
I think these drivers now, they've got that run under their belt. Rubber lay down the racetrack. They've got a feel for how aggressive they can be on these restarts, what their balance is going to be like over a run, and when and where to push the issue. Still very early in this race, though, Mike. You just can't push the issue too much right now. But we are starting to see, as Ryan Preece dives to the inside of John Hunter Nemechek, we are starting to see where some passing can happen, even though it's a track position game so far. There's definitely some balance issues that some of these cars are having in certain sections of the track.
Alex Bowman is having his way with Charlotte Motor Speedway. He's been out front for 131 of the 191 laps in his Hendrick Chevy Camaro. Distancing himself from Martin Truex 6.7 seconds back, and Kyle Busch 10 seconds off the lead.
And how about that call by Greg Ives to make that two-tire stop to get Alex Bowman out front, get him that track position, and then the battle that he had to maintain that lead and hold on to it still.
Eight laps left in the stage. Christopher Bell doing a nice job of not going a lap down. Bowman had gotten close.
Don't say it yet, Mike.
Well, no, he's stayed out in front of him for quite a while.
Alex Bowman maybe cutting him a bit of a break there. He had a run on him. Looked like Christopher Bell had a bit of a moment in the middle of 3 and 4.
But Bowman had been close to him before in traffic, and Bell was able to pull away a bit. I guess when you've got a 6-second lead, you can afford to be a little patient. Here's Jamie.
Well, Jeff talked about Martin Truex Jr. having good speed. There's just been little things that are kind of taking away some of his edge. He said he's on the splitter here too much, and it's getting him loose. And he's also been having a hard time with the lapped cars, and that's cost him to lose some ground to the 88.
Going past Ross Chastain is Martin Truex.
Oh, wow. Ross Chastain almost got in the rear bumper. He almost moved the 19 and turned him. I don't think that was Ross Chastain's intentions at all, but boy, it almost did turn him around. Something I'm starting to see, and we saw it out of Eric Jones working that higher lane. I really think that traction compound's starting to come in. And right there, you saw the 19 of Truex try to go by Ross Chastain on the inside, but there's so much grip on the outside. Ross Chastain, boy, we talk about misjudging things by Kyle Busch last Wednesday. Ross Chastain almost misjudged that on one of our leaders. I really think that these guys are going to have to start searching. Look at the 24 coming. Goes by the 9 for 4th place. His teammate Chase Elliott now back to 5th.
Eighth place, here's Austin Dillon.
Yeah, let's take a look at Austin Dillon, his crew chief Justin Alexander in that 3 car. This is their 67th race together. In both of Austin's wins, they've come with Justin Alexander making the calls. Their first race together was that 2017 Coke 600. Then they won the 2018 Daytona 500. They were not together last year. They're back together. And the only other 1.5 mile track that we've run this year, they finished 4th out at Las Vegas. Sounds like to me they're working on that right combination.
Thanks, Larry. Regan?
Well, Larry, just to add to that, that race car right now is very good for Austin Dillon. Last pit stop, they asked for no adjustments to that race car. So he's been having a nice run as we see him get very loose right there, racing hard with Ryan Blaney.
Well, we've seen Ryan Blaney is not going to cut you any slack. He's going to be very aggressive getting into turn 3. They almost made contact. We saw some of that earlier.
3 wide there.
3 wide.
With a lapped car outside of Dillon.
Well, you see Blaney gets to the inside, but I'm telling you, this outside groove is coming in. Look at Austin Dillon fight back up in that traction compound, get the run down the back straightaway.
Looking for stage points as pits are closed in this final lap of stage 2 that will bring us to halfway. Jimmy Johnson, after taking on just 2 tires, hanging on to 10th and the final stage point. Alex Bowman brings it around to the green and white checkers to win stage 2 from Martin Truex by 3.6 seconds.
All rolling good. 2 by 2 by 2 here. Still down there. Still there. Still there. He's being pushed on the inside. Here comes the 20 to push here. Still inside. Still down there. Come on, keep your momentum up right here. Should be clear on exit. All clear, bud. All clear. All right, let's go get him.
Alex Bowman out front. William Byron's car almost got away from him going into turn 3.
Yeah, well, we saw where a big push came from Alex Bowman's teammate William Byron to give him that lead. And then Eric Jones made a really nice move to get to the outside. Oh, here's 3 wide. Jimmy Johnson go to the inside of Logano. And these restarts are just wild. Those spots mean so much. You got to fight hard for them. Put yourself in positions you're not really comfortable with, but you have to do it.
You saw what a big cut that was top to bottom by Jimmy Johnson. This track has a ton of grip.
Yeah, these race cars have a ton of grip. When they get side by side, they stall out, so it creates that moment. Oh, Jimmy Johnson threads the needle up in front of Keselowski. Keselowski goes to the inside. Jimmy able to use that traction compound to get back by the 2 of Keselowski, but here comes Kurt Busch and the 1 to the inside.
Kurt Busch in 9th after leading early in this race, 54 laps. Trying to get back in play here.
Mike, we're under the lights. Grip is high, track temps down, and after a pit stop, you see a lot of sparks from underneath these cars. Those tire pressures are a little bit lower because they build up as temperature and heat builds up those tires. They need to build that air pressure up, so the teams start them low. That lowers these cars down. They compress into the racetrack. That's when you see them hit the racetrack and sparks fly.
Yeah, Jeff, I think they're prone to even continue to lower the left side air pressures down to maybe about 16 or 17 PSI. The more you can open up the differential between the left side and the right side, it helps that car to rotate and turn through the middle.
Yeah, and here's that battle up front. Alex Bowman again leading Martin Truex Jr. We heard Martin Truex Jr. talk about the tire, the sidewall, and the stiffness, maybe creating some of that feeling that they're getting of the cars being rough. So maybe some of these teams are thinking about air pressure as an adjustment also to get some of the rigidness out of these race cars on these runs.
As Truex looks to the outside for the lead. Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch have had no luck at all getting through traffic. They are still mired back in 17th and 18th.
Yeah, you got to be so patient. You have a car where you're up front. You know how good your car is. You know what the balance is like, the grip is like, because you have cleaner air. Once you get shoved back to the back like this, I would imagine they go into the first corner and about lose control as we see things heating up front. Truex getting a run on Alex Bowman into turn 3 there, but not able to complete the pass or get side by side, but almost.
It's about to be a 3-car battle. William Byron is closing.
And William Byron found something right before the end of that stage. He started really making up some lap times. He was battling with Eric Jones. I think Eric Jones was trying that outside lane. Now Byron's able to get himself in a position to find some speed.
All 3 Penske cars in the top 10 now.
And you see Truex just flirting with that traction compound. I think the grip is really coming in higher up. Alex Bowman might have to start looking in his mirror, moving around a little bit, trying some new things. There's Eric Jones. Another car's got a lot of speed. Look at him, all 4 tires above that traction compound.
And back up front.
Throw a blanket over these 3.
Yeah, 1 leader, 2 stalkers. About to be 3.
See Alex Bowman down the bottom, William Byron down the bottom. But the 19 of Mark Truex Jr. is trying to get a little clean air to the nose, and see how he makes that gain down the straightaway when he does that. A little bit of a bobble by Alex Bowman. This might get a run to the 19 car down the back straightaway.
William Byron, though, in 3rd, was the fastest car on the track that last lap. The only car under 30 seconds.
I think he's catching a bit of a draft off these 2. This thing's getting ready to heat up front. Truex has said, I've been riding long enough behind you, Alex. I'm ready to get to the lead. I know how good that clean air is. Like all good race car drivers do, Alex Bowman moves to the top. Mark Truex Jr. says, I'm going to the bottom. A lot of times also, Mike, what happens here is early stages of the run, as that air pressure is building up, your balance might not be exactly where you want. You want to be good on a longer run, not necessarily on that shorter run. Looks like to me Alex Bowman either still needs some adjustments, that car's a little bit loose, or as those pressures build up, the balance is going to get better for him. But right now, Mark Truex Jr. trying to take advantage of that. He sees that. He sees those moments and those bobbles that's happening with the 88, and he's just trying to pounce all over Alex Bowman.
And they've now put some distance on William Byron.
Now right here is an opportunity for Mark Truex Jr. There he goes. You saw they stalled out side by side. Takes the lead for Mark Truex Jr.
That lap car of Joey Gase, Truex was able to use it as a pick.
Well, not only was it bad timing for where Alex Bowman came to the lap car of Joey Gase, but Mark Truex Jr. was working that higher line, so he automatically had more momentum as those 2 cars stalled out.
Second place, side by side. Bowman going after Truex.
Has that preferred inside lane to make the pass. You know, Bowman had that issue with the right rear tire, but every time they put fresher tires, they had 4, now 2. He's shown a lot of speed, and Truex maybe having some issues, not liking the balance of his car on these right side tires.
Well, Bowman, even when his car wasn't great tonight, has been very, very good.
Blaney goes to 3rd by Truex.
I think this is the highest Ryan Blaney has been all night. Jamie, anything wrong with the 19?
Nothing's wrong, Mike. It's just the first time they've tried this right side tire experiment. It's not working out. He said, I am so loose, I'm sideways as the 48 goes to the inside.
Jimmy Johnson taking over 4th place.
And I think, you know, that move might work like it did for Alex Bowman. If you know you're out front, you get in that clean air, it can fix some of those issues that Truex, you know, even though he's loose in traffic. He might not have been as loose if he had been out in that clean air. So, you know, if they're going to do this again, now they know they're going to have to make a big adjustment to that race car. There's a battle for 7th place. Kyle Busch going by William Byron.
Busch overcoming a speeding penalty back at lap 200. The end of stage 2. Joey Logano out front by, oh, not very much on Alex Bowman right now. Finished second in this race last year to Martin Truex.
I love, oh, by not much.
Yeah.
Look at that close down. And we talked earlier about Chip Ganassi getting a birthday present by Kurt Busch winning the pole. Somebody else's birthday's today, Mike.
Yeah, Joey Logano is, how do I say this politely? Half Chip's age. Turns 30 today. That's okay. You're only as old as you feel. Eighth place, Eric Jones. Not sure how much that contact with Christopher Bell hurt Jones as he's still trying to drive this thing forward.
It definitely took the Goodyear off the sidewall of that left front tire. Don't see a lot of body damage. Slides up, makes that pass happen.
Austin Dillon, former winner here, trying to follow him through. 7 laps to go in stage 3. Sixth place on your left.
Remember, Kyle Busch took 4 tires on that last time down pit road. Ooh, aggressive side draft of Brad Keselowski coming down the front straightaway. Brad not giving it up though. Look at him try to get back to the right rear. Not going to make it happen though. Kyle pushes the issue, slides up in front of him.
Did you see
brings along Eric Jones with him?
Did you see the last lap of that Xfinity race in Darlington? Kyle Busch gave Chase Briscoe all he could handle. Just about used up that car in turn 1 and 2, but Briscoe prevailed.
See, I was going to say, I thought Chase Briscoe gave Kyle Busch all he could handle.
Well, that too.
It was a heck of a finish.
Great finish in the Xfinity Series, and they will be here as Summer Speed Week rolls on at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Xfinity tomorrow night, the trucks on Tuesday, and then we're back here Wednesday night with a 500-kilometer race on this 1.5-mile super speedway.
We saw Alex Bowman close up to the rear bumper of Joey Logano, but then the next corner, Joey Logano actually was able to extend that lead out. Now, Alex Bowman regrouping here with just 4 laps to go, 3.5.
Bowman trying to sweep the stages as we watch the 7th place battle. Eric Jones still moving forward. Logano the leader. The other 2 drivers that stayed out, they are the last 2 cars on the lead lap, Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick.
Well, if you're going to get 2 tires against others 4, you better be sure you're the first one off pit road, and then if you're going to stay out, you better make sure you're the first one that stays out.
Now watch Alex Bowman here. Gets the lefts in the paint, and wow.
Wow. Now I know why the 22 Logano was able to extend that lead back out. That was a huge slide by the 88 of Alex Bowman. Great save.
Pits are closed with 2 laps to go in stage 3. That's that blinking red light you see.
That's when that dirt track experience comes in handy for Alex Bowman.
Very much so.
Ryan Blaney now closing in. You know, the problem with a slide like that, luckily there's only a couple laps to go here. It heats up that right rear tire and causes that loose condition to possibly get worse.
Bowman restarted 5th, Blaney 6th, Johnson 7th. They're now running 2, 3, 4 behind Joey Logano. Final lap of stage 3. Sixth place. And Connecticut's Joey Logano, with 2 checkered flags in his pocket already this season, is the stage 3 winner. Happy birthday, Joey.
Over 119 in line, in line, in line, in line. Half up, he's pushing, half up, keep him with you, half up. He's in line now. He's in line. He's in line. He's pushing. He's help off him. He's pushing. Bottom is not attached. Here comes the help from the 19. Protect your right side. 19's got to push. 19's pushing. Quarter bumper. Bumper. You're clear. 19's not. Outside. Outside tight. Still out there. Still out there, bad corner behind. Still there, got to hold 10x3 to the 48.
Wow, Joey Logano slid up into Ryan Blaney, and it was almost
This
a
is
pig
not
pile.
over yet. You've got Kurt Busch now stuck in the middle. Yeah, Joey Logano had a huge moment there. How he saved that, but this battle up front. Great job by Martin Truex Jr. pushing Matt DiBenedetto to the lead and then jumping to the outside of him going into turn 3. Here comes Jimmy Johnson into this battle. How about this? Matt DiBenedetto fighting back with those 2 tires to keep the lead on Martin Truex Jr.
4-car breakaway. DiBenedetto, Truex, Johnson, and Bowman.
You can tell, I mean, these guys on fresher tires, Truex definitely has more speed than Matt DiBenedetto does. Matt DiBenedetto's just fighting hard with that clean air.
That's it, Jeff. Which would you rather have, 2 tires and clean air or 4 tires?
I want clean air.
Right.
Any way I can get it. So far tonight, we've seen 2 tires, no tires, and 4 tires prevail up front as long as they had that clean air. I am so impressed with Matt DiBenedetto right now.
In a backup car.
Backup car, got into the wall in his qualifying lap. Had to bring out that backup car. Great job by the team getting it prepared. They've been fighting for track position all day. Saw a little bit of smoke right there on the 24 car William Byron. They've been fighting for track position starting in the rear with that backup car. And now they've got it, and he's got the lead.
Let's go back to that big slide by Joey Logano as the lead may change hands here on the left of your screen.
Yeah, Truex has position now on the bottom, but yeah, you see that huge moment. I mean, there were so many moments in that situation for Joey Logano that he could have easily wrecked. He almost got up into the 12 car Ryan Blaney. Just a fantastic job keeping that car in one piece. As we see, Martin Truex Jr. was able to complete that pass as Jimmy Johnson goes to the inside of Matt DiBenedetto, easier for me to say, for second place.
Jimmy Johnson to second place. Kurt Busch has pitted with what he believes is a loose right rear wheel.
Boy,
tough break for the pole sitter.
Yeah, pole sitter and a guy that led, what, 50-something laps at the beginning of this race, set sail, and he lost that track position. It's just not been the same for him. I don't know if it's just the pace is picked up here, Mike, but I'm seeing more tire rubs. Maybe it's more aggressiveness on the restarts. They get 3 wide, they start hitting one another and pushing those fenders in on the tire, causing some more tire rubs.
How about Matt DiBenedetto? 2 tires, hanging tough in third. Great strategy call to get him up front, to get track position and put him up among the contenders here. He's never finished better than 30th in the 600, but that's all behind him now.
Yeah, I get a little bit concerned, you know, once you lose that clean air, what those tires are going to do. But so far, that looks like the balance is pretty good for this 21 car on those 2 tires.
Fourth place going to change hands. 2 of the Hendrick teammates. Bowman back in front of Byron. "85 laps left to race in Charlotte." Martin Truex holding on to a slender lead over Jimmy Johnson. The Hendrick Camaro driver, back at lap 200, had to make 2 pit stops to solve a spring rubber problem in the right rear, started tail end, and has now driven his way to the lead. After a heartbreaker Wednesday night, when he was second on the final green flag lap at Darlington and in position with fresher tires to maybe take the lead from race leader Denny Hamlin, and got turned in the straightaway by Kyle Busch, who was looking at an onrushing Kevin Harvick and trying to fill the gap. So 38th for Elliott at Darlington, next to last. And here he is in Charlotte with a chance to finish first.
Well, I always say in the 600, it's that total team effort. And you got to give this team and Chase Elliott a lot of credit in how they've climbed their way back, coming from what happened on Wednesday, regrouping, coming here, qualifying up front, but having some issues to go to the back like you mentioned. They stayed out that one time. That didn't work out for them. They went way backwards, and now they've been able to fight their way back to the front through some great driving, some great adjustments on that number 9 car, as well as some nice pit stops.
He won on the Roval here, the combined road course and oval. That's trademarked by Charlotte Motor Speedway, by the way, Roval. After Truex and Jimmy Johnson wrecked coming for the flag. Excuse me, not right.
That was the year before.
Year before he won here.
Remember, Chase Elliott overshot turn 1, locked up the tires, went into the safer barrier, bounced off of it, and came back from that.
But he told us during the rain delay tonight what a thrill it would be to be the first Elliott to win the Coca-Cola 600. His Hall of Famer dad Bill came close, never victorious.
Well, still 30 laps to go. And when you've gone 600 miles, it doesn't seem like much, but when you're inside that race car and you're feeling every vibration and sound, it seems like forever.
And because of the hour-plus rain delay, we will be racing into Memorial Day in just a couple of minutes. Saw Kurt Busch lead the first 54 laps. Alex Bowman lead 164 laps. Martin Truex, 2-time winner here, out front for 87 circuits. And now Chase Elliott, 28 laps in front. We're told Ryan Newman has another battery issue and looks like he will not make it to the finish in his Ford.
Well, this race has been filled with you know, quite a few different scenarios that played out. A lot of them strategy, tires, and staying out. And then here at the end, that final restart was just really intense by Chase Elliott making some bold moves to try to push Jimmy Johnson to the lead. That didn't work out. And then he was finally able to get into second and go after our leader, Brad Keselowski, to take the lead.
Chase's crew chief is Alan Gustafson, and his spotter, former modified racer Eddie DeHunt.
Yeah, Eddie DeHunt was my spotter when I drove the 24 car, and Alan is my crew chief, Alan Gustafson. Excellent. I just love the way Eddie's always nice and calm. So one of the best spotters out there. Chase Elliott's obviously in great hands there, and 8 laps away.
Well, when your spotter's got nothing to say, that's a good thing, right?
That is a good thing. Right now, I can tell you one person that has nothing to say, and that's Chase Elliott. He is focused straight ahead, just knocking down those corners, being as smooth as he possibly can.
Guys, really slow.
A little bit of a wiggle right there as he had to get out of that traction compound to go underneath that slower car.
I think the way
5 to go at the line.
The way Chase Elliott handled Wednesday night's incident, maybe not immediately after climbing out of the car, but in the days that followed, was exemplary. He and Kyle Busch talked, they sorted it out, and then Elliott said he made a mistake, and I hate that it was such a costly mistake for us from a driver that rarely makes a mistake. And then He was ready to move on.
Well, and you know, it's a quick reminder just how long Chase Elliott has been around the racetrack and been around racing through his family, through his father, and has been racing himself since a very young age. He's been through situations with different competitors through all those years and had to deal with them, just not on this stage until, you know, he's come to the Cup Series, and he's actually had to deal with it a couple times. But you're right, Mike. He handled it impressively.
And on the way up in his late model racing, he drove for his dad. And Bill often said, boy, sometimes you want to tell him so much. There's so much that you want to teach a young driver, especially your son. But he said, there's just so many things he needs to learn for himself.
And, you know, I just want to give a call to Alan Gustafson, the crew chief, and this entire 9 team. Remember there back on that pit stop at lap 204 when they had to make the second pit stop because of the right rear spring rubber issue. And then he made a call later on in the race at lap 277 to stay out. They almost fell outside the top 20, but they knew they had a good race car. They kept their head about them, and here they are.
And caution is out for William Byron.
Oh, wow.
Chase Elliott's teammate causes the caution flag with 2 to go.
Yeah, you can see there that left rear tire already down, actually shredding, and the fender damage.
19 lead lap cars. Not sure if Byron was in the free pass position at the time of caution or Michael McDowell. We'll check with scoring.
Oh, looks like he's coming to pit road. Wow, Chase Elliott comes and others stay out.
Didn't see that coming.
Same thing that happened to Ryan Blaney and Todd Gordon at Las Vegas, like I just mentioned. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
About a dozen of them came in.
See the 9.
2 or 4.
Looks like they're going with 4. Wow. So is the 19. I guess it's if you come down pit road, you might as well put 4 tires on. Of course, that's not what Kyle Busch is going to do.
And that should put Brad Keselowski back in the lead. Keselowski, Johnson, Bowman, Blaney, and the rest. Here we go.
Big push coming. Still there, bumper. Still outside. Big push. Still there. Still there, bumper. You are clear. You are clear. Side by 1.
Oh, moment for Austin Dillon.
By 2.
No.
Clear off the top by 2.
No issue though. Nice and clean.
Draft in 2. Climbing with you. 1 3/4. Big R.
Tyler Reddick in 4th. Challenging Ryan Blaney.
Oh, I saw Bowman, I think, almost get into Kyle Busch, but keeps it going.
And 2 champions to settle it out here.
Leader sees the white flag.
Next flag ends the race. Keselowski, Johnson. Backstretch, final
He's got
time.
a pretty good run on Keselowski here. I don't know if he's close enough. Brad Keselowski.
Off turn 4 into the checkered flag. Michigan's Brad Keselowski wins NASCAR's longest ever race.
Brad, we all know what a supporter you are of the military. What does it mean to you to win this race today on Memorial Day weekend?
It means a lot to me, but can't help but think about the Reap family and Donovan, and you know, I hope they're watching. I know the race ran really late, but you know, Memorial Day is a lot more than racing, but we're glad to be able to get to do cool things like racing because of the freedoms provided by those that are, you know, willing to make those sacrifices, Jamie. And man, I feel like I've thrown this race away a handful of times, and I thought we were gonna lose it today, and I know we've lost it the way Chase lost it, and that really stinks. And today we finally won it that way, and I'm so happy for my team. I wish my wife was here. I wish my daughters were here, but it's a major, you know, it's the Coke 600, and this only leaves one major left for me, the Daytona 500. So we're checking them off, and I'm really happy for Miller Lite. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with them, if they're going to come back on the car or what, but it's been a great 10-year ride with them, and this is, you know, their only race of 2020, and we're in Victory Lane. I know they're really happy because Miller Lite goes with Memorial Day, but I'm happy for Ford and everybody that just works their butt off at Team Penske. We might not have been the fastest car today, but wow, did we just grind this one out, Jamie. And the pit crew at the end, you know, the stop, or the yellow right before the last, just had a blazing stop to get us up front and put us in position. And all these things just came together, and I'm tickled to death, and it's a little overwhelming, to be honest.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.